Bramble Royale, a Meteorfall Story. I got sent a key for this demo recently, and boy, this could be a really fun roguelike deck builder when it comes out. The game has a silly tone that reminds me of Adventure Time, Pit People, kind of the same style and humor. This one is developed by Slothworks, and they've done a few games in the same universe as this one. I kinda get some Mad Max Thunderdome vibes, but much sillier from this game, as you fight in what looks like a post-apocalyptic world, and instead of a metallic dome, it's a giant colorful tent. So the game is split into a few fights, and you'll do some shopping and upgrading in between the battles. If you lose, you're out and have to restart just like any other roguelike. In the demo you can only play 3 characters, a mage, a rogue and a fighter. At the bottom you will have the cards you can play in order to attack and defend. It's a bit more complex, but we'll get into that in a bit. The arena is split into 2 lanes for each team with 2 rows, so that you can move around a bit to avoid attacks or have another character in front absorbing the damage. Or maybe you want to go for a lane specific attack. You have 4 energy to spend each turn to play cards with. All the cards are split into 2 types. The first type are cards that can be used instantly. They are brown and represented by a piece of wood. These can have effects like applying armor, a status effect like poison on the enemy, fire on the ground to boost damage on that enemy, or boost one of your own characters, and so on. The other type is equipment cards. They are grey like metal and are usually weapons or better spells that you drag and drop on top of the characters and serve as this round's attack. Your characters can only have one of these attached to them per round and will be used at the end of your turn after the enemy have acted. The fights are quite hard, no character have too much health, and you'll have to use everything at your disposal in order to win. Moving your characters, splitting the incoming damage becomes crucial. Combining effects and setting up combos is very effective and crucial as well to success. During the battles you also have something called wildcards. These can be used once per battle and will grant you a powerful effect like healing everyone that's below 50% health, or this round you'll do double damage. These cards can't be played at the same turn as the enemy is playing a wild card, which can fuck you up a bit sometimes. Then you also have something called feats. These feats can be triggered once per battle as well, when you complete an objective for that feat during the battle. So for example, use 6 items and all allies gain 6 armor and 3 attack. Play 3 dexterity cards, and all future dexterity cards will be 1 cheaper to play. You start off with both a wild card and a feat, and I think this is dependent upon the party you select. In the demo there are only 3 characters available, so you always start with the same feat and the same wild card. But after each battle you get to choose a new one out of 3 to add to your arsenal. After each fight you also get to choose a new card out of 3 available, and then you get to choose one of 2 schedules. So I mentioned earlier that you will be able to buy and upgrade cards in between battles. You can't however do everything and have to choose. So each schedule will have access to a few different shops. So for example, do you want to get access to the bank for more currency to spend, the store where you can buy cards, and the shop for new wild cards? Or do you want to get access to the oracle that can remove a card from your deck, the workshop where you can upgrade cards, and the training area where you can train a character, get a perk and a new card? There are also a few more places that can pop up, making the run a bit more random and unpredictable. It is definitely harder to plan for what you want to spend your money on, but I never felt like I didn't have anything to spend my money on that wouldn't improve my team. I like the overall game loop. The gameplay is challenging and you're always pushed to the edge, but the fights are pretty short, which is kinda nice. And your choices are kinda limited with 3 characters and only 2 lanes with 2 rows, so you don't have to calculate like 10 moves. It's all very fluid and quite quick. All characters are also put into a category of strength, dexterity, faith and intelligence. Some weapons and upgrades have benefits if it's used by the corresponding character of that same category, which adds another layer to the strategy of building your deck. The deck building is on the simpler side, which I like, but the game loop is still filled with a lot of RNG that can be a bit frustrating, but I mean it's easy to start a new run, and when cards align and you make an insane play or save a run, the game is such a blast to play. I do enjoy the characters in this game and the universe they have created. This demo kind of prompted me to go back and look at the other games. I need to do that, because it is really silly and kind of childish, but also really enjoyable. And the game is certainly more complex than it might look on a first glance. The game will drop sometime next year. I'm sure this demo will be available to everyone before that time. I think the full game will have 8 characters to choose from, and each character have their own set of unique cards. I think there are over 200 cards in the final product, but there definitely needs to be a bit more content in the game. Obviously more of everything, difficulties, game modes and stuff like that, and I'll hope after the game is released they will add more heroes as well. But definitely a roguelike deck builder that is easier to get into than most others. Like Slay the Spire is a great example of this because it's kind of easy to get into but infinitely complex. And this feels a bit similar to that, but I'm just a bit concerned about the length and replayability of Bramble Royale, because I don't think it will be on the same scale. But it is definitely a recommend for me, I had a blast playing it. Don't forget to leave a comment what you think about the game below, otherwise I'll see you in the next video, have a great day.